Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Game Dev live stream. My name's Mike, and this is my university project. It's a 2D platformer. We are in Unity, and this version is 2022.3.26F1. Welcome to the stream, Aaron. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, dude. So we're going to do a quick recap of what I've got in the game so far. So if I zoom out on the left here, you can see the scene. Basically, we have a slime enemy that moves between 2 points. When he hits the triggers, his animation. Oh, notification. Oh, that's weird. Oh, well, at least you're here now, dude. So when the slime hits a trigger, it flips the animation to go another way. We have these coin pickups that you can see. We also have a trap that I've made that's meant to be a kind of insta-kill trap. Like, that was the idea behind that one. We've got the coin pickup, we've got the score, and we've got the health bar. So we've got a number of features working. I need to figure out the timer. So I'm actually thinking in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, there was a timer, but that counted up. And when it got to 10 minutes, I think that's if you didn't do the level in 10 minutes, it was game over. So I'm tempted to do one that just counts up, and just have like a 5 minute timer and have the color transition over that period from white to red, maybe. So, it's kind of like a timer. um, what game am I making? This assignment is a 2D platformer, dude. That's what I have to do with this one. I'm going to show you the game in action. So yeah, let's show you what I've done. So at the moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to temporarily just hide the cube. That cube is the player contact box. So I'm going to temporarily hide that. Why did that slime just change animation like that? Right. So can you hear that? You can see I've got the coin moving a little bit there as well. So I've animated the coin. It's a static sprite, but I've given it life by just making it slightly levitate. I've got the animations working for the character. So if I get hit by the slime, you see that? So I've added a bit of knockback, which I thought was quite cool. And the red feedback when a player gets hit, I thought was a nice touch as well. I don't know what the slime. What is the slime doing? This is what I mean. It needs a tiny bit of refining. It does work, but maybe it's my code, the way I've coded it. That slime. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Yeah. So I think it's because there's multiple triggers going on there with the code, and I think it's having a little bit of a conflict. But I love what I've done with the red feedback from taking damage. Like I say, it needs refining, but you can see what it's doing. It's adding a really gentle knockback. You get the red flash. The slime currently deals 5% damage to the health bar. I didn't want it to be too excessive. So yeah, like I say, I'm not quite sure why. I think I know why actually. It's because I think I've turned something off to be a trigger. Anyway, that is what we've got working so far, guys. I'm really happy with the progress. The sound of the coins does work, dude. I'll show you again. It does play. It plays. Hold on. What's going on there? Oh, that's because the cube. That's because the cube isn't the height of the player. That's why my head is hitting the wall there. See the cube. The cube is the collision there. Yeah. Anyway, it needs refining, the thingy. So I've got a number of things I want to do. I wanted to add a bounce mechanic to the slime. So at the moment, when the player touches the slime, what happens is, you'll see. No, I'm not going to play ball. Come on. Dude, why are you not doing a knockback? There we go. So at the moment it does that. Now, oh, I just realised. So basically, you notice that when I jump on the slime, I'm not taking damage. It's because of the way I've programmed it. So when the player walks, when the player is level and grounded, so when a player is on a platform and they touch the slime, it registers damage. But at the moment, if you jump on top of the slime, you won't take damage, and that's because I've got a boolean bottom left here, which is can jump. So if the can jump is enabled, then we take damage. So I've got a few things I want to do. I want to add the bounce mechanic to the slime. Then I'm going to do a gem pickup, which is going to be the same as the coins. Not sure if I'm going to have the gem move like the coins. I'm not too sure on that. And then there's a health pickup I want to do. I've already got the health function here on the graph. You can see it's quite a long bit of code, but it works. And yeah, it works basically. So it checks if there's a tag of the enemy slime. If it's true, we deal damage. So yeah, I'm happy with how that works. And this is the bit of code for the little red feedback on the damage. Nice and simple. Hey, Spades, how you doing, bro? Oh, I'll show you Spades because you haven't seen it yet. So I'll just show you what I've got. Got the sorry, I'm repeating myself for those that are already here. It's got a coin pickup, and then we've got the enemy that deals knockback damage. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. The slime. What's going on with the slime? Oh, it's the trigger. You can see the green and the pink diamond. Those are the triggers that flip the animation. Oh, God. Okay. Right, let's jump into this because some of you that might be watching might want to learn a few things. So what we're going to do, we're going to add in the bounce to the slime. So here is the trigger. This is for updating the health bar, okay? But I don't want to put the code for the slime bounce in here. Now the reason for that is because it's a mechanic. It's kind of like a separate mechanic. The bouncing on the slime isn't going to deal damage to the player, so it doesn't make sense to have that in the update health bar. So instead, I'm going to create a trigger and it's going to be called bounce. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. We're going to do custom event. We're going to call this slime bounce because, well, it's bouncing off of a slime. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to copy the code here, so on trigger, and what we're going to do, we are literally going to copy this exact bit of code, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to plug this in here. Hold on. Hold on a second. I can't plug that into that. Interesting. Okay, so I've got two trigger events. Oh, to be fair, I'm not going to be calling this, am I? I'm not going to be calling it. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so on trigger with the enemy slime. Now, we want a boolean. Okay, hold on. Right, so I'm going to unplug that. Get rid of that. Move that there. Right, so what it's saying at the moment, when we trigger with an object, slime, now the slime, I just need to check the slime because I think I disabled the trigger. Set the box collider of this. That is, right, I think that is why the player, you know, there's a tiny bit of a glitch where it's not dealing damage. I think it's to do with this, where I'm disabling the trigger. Whereas, so that's disabling the trigger box on the slime. You see this little outline, this little square outline? That is being disabled when it hits a trigger. But what I should have done was maybe put a bit of code in here instead, because this trigger A, that's what I should have done, to be fair. That is why I'm such a genius. I'm such a genius at figuring stuff out. This is the script graph for the slime, guys. This whole script graph is for our slime enemy. Yeah? And you can see the trigger of the slime. Yeah, the trigger here is getting disabled. That's how I've got it set up, and it does do the job. But with the slime trigger being temporarily disabled, if the player touches it, it's not dealing damage. So what I actually need to do is create a game object for the triggers, and then I need to plug the triggers into here. You see where it says this? Basically, I would connect the trigger game object to there, so it would disable the triggers of that and not actually affect the slime. I might actually do that now quickly. I'm such a genius. Such genius. Sorry. And then we'll get back. Then we'll get back to the what I started doing over here. Sorry, I just solved the problem. Enemy slime. Okay, so change the sprite orientation on the axis. Okay, so what I need to do is create a game object. Set the trigger of that. Ah, okay. Ooh. Oh, good. Okay. we can add 2 triggers. Okay, that's good. Right, so we're going to create a game object, and this is, we're on the enemy slime at the moment. So on object, what we're going to do is, I mean, it's kind of tempting to put it in the scene because I might put it on the scene actually. Okay, so we're going to call this trigger A. Actually, hold on. If I've got multiple triggers in the game, I'm going to call it trigger A underscore slime. Copy that, save that. Game object, and then we're going to drag trigger A here down to there. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to paste that. Ugh. Trigger B slime. And the reason I'm doing the underscore with the between the slime is just so I know what it's associated to. Because I might have triggers for other things like a different enemy type. So need to make sure we can distinguish between the two. So now I'm going to drag trigger B. Oops, oopsie daisy. We need to say game object. Drag trigger B down to there, plug that in there. Now, by doing this, what it's going to do, guys, is it is not going to disable the box collider on our slime, which should mean the the slime will hit the player every time, because at the moment, as you've seen, when the player hits the slime, sometimes it's not doing it. And you can see on the left here where we've got the scene, this little green diamond that my cursor's around and this little red diamond, when the slime hits this green box for 2 seconds, the slime's trigger box is disabled, and that's basically like this distance to about here. So if the player made contact with the slime shortly after it's hit a trigger box, that is why it's not inflicting damage. And this should resolve that problem, because I'm a genius. So we're going to get the trigger for slime A. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to just drag down this graph, because as you can see, there's not a lot of room in there. So I'm just going to stretch it out, make enough room. To be fair, if I drag this down, that is get the trigger A slime, get the trigger B slime. Put those next to each other nice and tight. And then you can see we've got 4 different trigger boxes. Now this is based, the reason we have 2 is because the slime moves left and right. So one of these branches of code is for one direction and the other branch of code is for the other direction. Okay, so I'm just going to get this and just straighten it up, because the code, I don't like the way Unity's coding isn't nice and neat like Unreal. It really bugs me. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to plug trigger A into there, into there, into there, and into there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for trigger B, plug that into there, into there, into there. Oh, that's a problem. Oh. Okay, you see what's happening there? That's not a problem, actually. That isn't a problem. I know what's happening. That's not a problem at all. Okay, so trigger. Right, so we just need to assign. So this is trigger A. So trigger A will go into the top row. That's not a problem. So trigger A is this one. You see when I click on the diamond, on the left hierarchy, it's highlighting which trigger it is. So when the slime hits this, it flips the sprite. Okay? And so this is correct. Trigger A is the trigger box that's getting disabled. And now, if we plug trigger B into there, and what we can do, we can just bring that down. This is what I mean about Unity's visual script. It just looks so shit with the... In Unreal, I would be able to straighten this line out and have it nice and visually clear to read. But you can see the lines, they just look so messy, and that's the one thing I don't like about Unity's visual script in comparison to Unreal's. But beggars can't be choosers. Okay. I might actually make that. I want that to be in line with that box there. Okay, so now that we've done that, that should... I'm pretty certain I've resolved that slight issue where the player doesn't take any damage. Shall we give it a test, guys? Fingers crossed. Oh, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure I've resolved it. So, effectively, the player should always take damage. For some reason, I have this weird glitch where the player gets stuck. No idea. Look, you can see there. Did you see that? I was kind of running as if there was an invisible pixel. I'm not sure what is causing that. Interesting. I'm just watching the collider there. I'm getting hit. That's what I can see on the left there. That's what's happening. Watch. If I get knocked back, you'll see I'll get stuck. It's like my box collision is... It's like when the box is re-enabled for that one. But it's working. Like, I've fixed it. The slime... It's perfect. I fixed it. But there's obviously some... I think it might be to do with the layers and the triggers, because at the moment I have the box collider for my character, but why did the slime just change? What did the slime just do? It's really weird. Anyway, we've resolved one issue. It always deals damage now, and it doesn't have that weird glitch. Oh, it's so satisfying seeing that in action. You see what I mean? The slime's now going backwards. Why are you doing that, dude? I think that might be the delay on the trigger that I set in. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but it is really satisfying to watch. Okay, so I think when that trigger's getting re-enabled on the box, which is over here, for some reason that seems to be affecting our player. So we kind of need our player's trigger box to kind of not get affected by the slime trigger. I'm going to make a note of that, guys. Bear with me. sort player collider so doesn't get affected by slime trigger. Right, so I just need to make a note here. Fixed slime glitch, no damage to player. Assigned trigger toggle to game object trigger and not the slime's trigger. And that is how I solved the bug. I'm really, really happy with myself. I'm really happy that I knew there was a bug. I didn't know what was causing it. And then I looked at the code and I was like, that is where the problem is. It's really, it's almost like Dark Souls is one game that always, it's the only game that's ever given me a real sense of like overcoming a challenge. And fixing bugs is very similar to beating a boss in Dark Souls. Like you just get this feeling of like you've conquered, you've conquered something, you know. But I'm really happy with that. Right, so let's save that. Now, what we were going to do, guys, before I got distracted with bug fixing, we're going to go back to the... Was it on the enemy slime graph? Was it on the enemy slime graph? No, it was on the player, wasn't it? Okay. Right. So, when we are grounded, our player is on the platform. The way that the slime currently deals damage to the player is if the player is on a platform. So the moment I jump off a platform, this boolean at the bottom left where I've got can jump, when I jump off of the platform, that gets untoggled to false. So if I am, if that is off and I touch the slime, I won't take damage. Now I'm going to be using that boolean to basically make me bounce off of the slime. Now this is a mechanic that exists in Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse on the Mega Drive. I had to market research 3 games, 3 platformers for like mechanics and things to kind of influence my game in some way. And I wanted to have a similar effect where you jump on an enemy and then you bounce off of it. And I'm only having this mechanic for the slimes because they're like a gelatinous object, so they're naturally a bit bouncy. So kind of like Flubber, the film Flubber. I'm showing my age there. Anyway, let's get this set up. So when we collide with something, we get the tag of the game object we're colliding with, and the tag is enemy slime. So if that tag is true, we are then going to get another if statement. So if it's true, can we do an and? No, we'll do another if. Whoa! Why did I just zoom into the? What? What happened there? Dude. What? Why did I just zoom into the player? Okay. So if that's true, we're then going to get the can jump. So we need to okay. If can jump, that's the Boolean check. So this purple node is the Boolean check. So I'm putting the can jump into there. So we're saying when we collide with a game object and it's got the tag enemy slime, if that is true, we're then doing another check. And we're going to be checking if the can jump is false, which is here. And then we need to apply force. I already had this for my trap, which is... Where is my trap? I had the trap here. I don't know if I've got a script. I thought I had a script graph for that. Okay, not a problem. So we're going to go onto the health bar. And we're basically going to copy the rigid force. paste that there. So these two boxes here with the 10 and the 10. I'll take care, Space. Thanks for tuning in, dude. I think you've already gone, but thanks for joining me, dude. Okay, so these two boxes here with the 10 and the 10, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So when we jump on the slime, we want to apply force upwards, which is on the y-axis. So we're going to put 0 in the force in the x-axis, and we're going to apply, I'm just going to put 25, and I think it's force we go for. Okay. So basically, you have to imagine this if statement as in a yes, it's toggled, no, it's not toggled. So we're getting the Boolean here. Boom, get the variable, and this statement checks the Boolean toggle. So true if it's got a tick, false if it's not got a tick. Okay. And I think that's all we need to do. Let's give it a test. So I'm going to zoom out on this one, so I can basically, I think it's going to propel us quite high up in the air, guys. All right, let's test it. Moment of truth. What? Why are you not working, dude? Oh, dude. Dude, okay, right, let's get the bolt. I think we need to get rid of that. Bolt, let's just do Boolean. That should have worked. On trigger with the slime. If that's true, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of that and I'm gonna try a different Boolean. Right, hold on. Let's try that one. Oh, dude, hold on. Sorry, I just had to do that. Actually, I don't even need that. Why am I overcomplicating this? If we had a double ball, it's basically checking for two conditions. Providing both of those come back true, then we do the force. You understand what's going on there, guys? So when we collide with a game object that is tagged enemy slime, and so providing it has the tag enemy slime and the player is falling, and that's true, then we apply force. Now it should work. Are you serious, bro? Why, why are you not working? I think I need to add a slightly longer delay on the... Bear with me. I think I need to add a longer delay on the trigger. Because I think that's... Let me just see. Why? I don't understand why that's not working. The enemy slime trigger. You can see the trigger there. So why? Not quite sure what's going on there. First off, let's just double check. I'm just going to watch the animation of the slime. So what was happening, guy? Oh, it's fucking doing it again. Why is it doing that? That's so annoying. I don't know why the... Okay. Right, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get this jump sorted. Right. Oh, I think I know. I think it's because I'm doing force. If I do impulse, I'll see if that works. Way! Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so force didn't really do anything for some reason. I wonder why that is. Okay, so it's impulse. It has to be impulse. Or does it tell us what the difference is? Okay. It's working, guys. If I zoom out on this one. Dude, why is the animation doing that? Why? Why are you doing that to me? I need to just quickly sort that out. I really don't know why it's been a little mare. I'm going to put that back to 2. I fix one thing and then something else happens. At least I've fixed the problem with the player running into the slime and the slime not doing damage. That is fixed. I'm really happy I fixed that. Okay. Right, I just need to make a note of that. Okay. Right, so let me just go back here to the player. Now, it's strange, because what's happening, guys, you'll see what's happening here. It's like it does a mini bounce, then a big bounce. You see that? Don't know why that is. Whoa! Jesus! Oh my god, it just sent me flying. Oh my god. Right, okay. That was quite funny. That was quite hilarious. I think I know why it's doing that, you know. And I think it's to do with the jumping mechanic. Hold on. No, you're not meant to be doing that. No, no, no. Okay, what is going wrong there? I'm going to try something, guys. I'm going to get that one. Let's see if that is better. What? Oh, fuck me. Oh, God. I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think how I can do this. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, how am I going to do this? Right. It's kind of like what we need to do we need to have it. So because basically what's happening when the player is on the platform, they can jump. The moment it touches the slime, it's knocked back. The character is knocked back. So oh, like, do we add a boolean for can bounce? Because it's like you want to have something if if oh, such a pain in the arse. I know what I need to do. It needs to be right. So how the fuck am I going to do this? It's almost like, because originally I was thinking about having it's almost like, do we need to add a trigger on top of the slime? So like a little spring pad on its head. Because at the moment, the only time the player takes damage is if the player is flat on the platform. It's kind of like you want to have a small trigger on its head. But I don't know if having two trigger boxes is just going to make it really messy. I'm not sure. It's giving me a little bit of a headache trying to think about it, to be honest. So at the moment, if the player's on a platform, they touch the slime, they take damage, they get knocked back in the negative, positive axis. If the player isn't on a platform, they don't take damage when they hit the slime. But because contact with the slime immediately knocks back the player, I mean, one way of doing it, no, it might glitch it out. I mean, we could just remove the propulsion of the player in the air. Let's change that and see what difference that makes. So if I remove that, so we're not getting knocked in the air, we're just getting knocked sideways by the slime. Let's see if that makes a difference. Seriously? I'm going to try up that to 20. Dude, why are you not working? I preferred... I did prefer... I did prefer the... I preferred the not back in the air. I quite like that. I don't want to have to remove that, to be honest. I've been streaming for nearly an hour and I haven't got... I mean, I've done one bug fix. But... I think it needs to be the falling. For fuck's sake. I'm not falling though. Oh my god. You know what? I've got a simple fix to this, guys. It might not be the best. It might not be the best. But the problem we're having... I'm just going to explain what the problem is. Okay? At the moment, we have a conflict. We have different variables for different states the player is in. Okay. When on the platform, they will take damage on the slime. The problem we're having is when they're airborne, they're not jumping. I think the simple thing to do here is to go on the slime and basically have a very small trigger dead center. Now you can see the player box, providing that touches the head, then it will bounce. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. It might not be the best way of doing this, but it's a way that it should theoretically work. So I think I'm going to do that because I know that the booleans are going to... I've already seen that the booleans are conflicting because of the thing there. So okay. Okay. Let's create a empty, and we're going to call this bounce. Okay. So this bounce we're going to add a trigger okay. Now if I do 0.5, that is now, if I show you, it's there. What I want to do is make the Y of that I kind of want that to be 0.1 or 0.2, and if I make that half the size, now the offset, if I make that on the Y, that should be in line. Yeah, it is. Can you see that? It's literally on the line there. So what we need to do, we need to shift that up. Let's try 1.1. Might be too high. That's too high. So we're going to do 1.05 maybe. Basically, we do not want that trigger to be touching the other trigger in case it creates a bit of a pickle. There we go. Can you see that's not touching? Let's try 0.2. Okay. So basically, if I press play, I mean, it's doing the job. That's the bounce. That is the bounce. I think this is going to work. This should work. Let's give it a go, guys. I'm thinking we're going to have to make that even smaller. That is the smallest trigger in the world. Like, so small. Let's see if that works. No. Oh, dude. Um. Uh, 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 I'm going to try force and see if that's any better. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I know how to sort that. I know why that's causing a problem. It's because it's been turned off as a trigger. When it gets turned off as a trigger, that is why our player can't move through it. Okay, that's one bug fixed. Um, how can I make it so my player doesn't get affected by the trigger? Bear with me, guys. Okay, if I add a layer, assign that as player. Um, and then the triggers. Is it going to be there? Let's see if that fixes the problem. It does. Well, hey! The player can move through that unaffected. That is another bug fixed, guys. Another bug bites the dust. That was a really good bug fix, that one. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so the problem I have is when the player gets hit by the slime, because we're airborne, we've already got a bit of velocity and we're automatically kind of getting knocked onto the trigger, which I don't want. So I think on that basis, what I'm going to have to do is... I need to check my sugars. Sorry, I've just gone blank. I've just gone completely blank. Oh, 1 second, guys. BRB. It's surprising how long this has taken. Hour and 15 into it, we have fixed, I think, 2 bugs. So we fixed the slime not doing damage to the player because the slime's trigger was getting turned off. We fixed that, and then we've just fixed the boxes, the trigger boxes blocking the player's movement. So I'm really, really happy I've fixed 2 bugs there, which are kind of a bit game breaking in a way. Well, to me, they don't stop you from beating the game, but they affect, well, it's like an invisible block, isn't it, really? That is essentially what it is. It does exist, but to the player, it will be like a bug. This is turning more into a bug fixing stream than making any progress. Okay, so we're going to adjust the knockback here. I'm going to do 1, so we get a tiny knockback in the air. See if that affects things. Micro adjustments. This is proving really... This is proving really annoying. This is such a pain in the ass. Oh, it's like if the player is falling and they touch the slime. My God. Oh, dude, this is making me tired. I think what I need to do, guys, I need to think about this. I need to think on this because this is really quite frustrating. There has to be a way that I can get that to work. I'm going to get rid of the bounce. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of the tag for bounce. Right. We have fixed 2 bugs this stream. I'm happy with what we've done. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time. I fixed 2 bugs, guys. 2 bugs with this mechanic, with the contact damage. I'm very happy that I've done that. I don't know why the animation, why did it do that? Oh my God. We have fixed 2 bugs. Okay, let's add a gem pickup, shall we? Okay, I'm going to one sec. Okay, I'm going to add the gem pickup. So we've got another score thing. And then I need to add a health pickup. So get the gem pickup in there, then we've got 2 pickups. I'm actually going to quickly do something. I want to put in the spike trap. So um, oh, um, I know what I need to do for that. Right, you see here, this is the trap spike. When I'm moving that little square in the axis, it's not aligned. But if I hold the control, I can, but I want that cube to be kind of there, so when I'm placing on the grid, it's perfectly slotted in. I think the way I resolve that is I just add 0.5, 0.5 to the position here. Fucking hell. So going from minus 0.3, right, so if I'm adding 5 to minus 0.3, that's going to make it 0.2. And then plus 0.5 to that should make that 0.4. Why is that? Why is that not? If that's the box there. There we go. Right, collider box is in place, and now we just need to move Why have I got the sprite? I can get rid of that. There we go. Job done. So now, when I move the... you see this, the spike trap? It's now perfectly aligned. To be fair, I might actually shrink. I'm going to shrink that because it doesn't make sense the moment the player touches the tip that they die. I would kind of rather... that they landed on the spikes a little bit more. So I'm going to set that to 0.5. There we go. Why are the spikes? Ever so slightly. Let me just note down these values. So that's 0.316. So if I just okay, so we basically remove the 16. So hold on. There we go. Jesus. That should now be sorted. That was such a pain in the ass. Okay, our trigger box. Um, yeah, I'm happy with that. Um, I'm happy with that. That was funny. That was really funny. Right. So, hmm. Um, I think I can make a prefab of that, guys. Pardon me. Do I not have a folder for traps? Adding some hyphens there makes it easier for me to distinguish um, between folders now. So a triple hyphen either side means it's a folder. Single hyphen means subfolder. I'm happy with that. There we go. Looks nice and organised now. Okay. there we have it. Spike pit. Okay, right, we've got prefab for the traps, we've got the coin prefab, different platforms there, and a trap prefab. Save the game. Okay, static trap. Hold on a minute. What do I need to do? Okay. So going by my checklist of what I need to include in this project, the static hazard, check. But then there's another one, static hazard that reduces player life. So for that one, I could have a poison arrow pit or a dart shooting thing. Because that would be static in its sense. It shoots projectiles, but it is static. It's not moving, it's just the projectiles moving. So, yeah. Right, what we're going to do with this static hazard, we're going to make it kill the player. So, basically, all we need to do, we've got our traps in place, and they've all got the tag of trap spike. Okay, so all I need to do is go on my player and get the script graph up, and oh my god. Right. We're going to copy that code, put it there. Copy that, let's go back to there. So if the player collides with the trap, get the health, subtract we'll just do 1, because that's the whole value of the player's health. Oh, no, I don't need to do this here. I can have player hit animation. I can have player death. So when the player basically what we need to do here right, what I was going to do was add this to red now, but instead of doing that I can have, because essentially you don't want to have to copy this each time. If I had this bit, because it needs to also play the death animation, because we do have a death animation, so I think what I might do is move that over there, custom event, and call that player death. So this is when a player takes a hit. And then this is when they're dead. So this is going to get some more stuff added to it, such as sorting out the death animation, pausing the game. This is more to do with the visual effect. So I'm going to call that over here. Whoa, what's going on there? Ugh! Oh, I don't like how it... I don't like that. Look at that. What a mess. Why does it do that? Um... There we go. So under the update health bar, we've added in the spike trap, so that will trigger the player death sequence. That inflicts 100, well, max health reduction. So now we test it. Okay, so what I'm doing there, guys, what I had originally was if the player hit the trap, it would trigger this event, and that was basically setting the sprite to red. But with the trigger of the slime, that affects the the color of the player, so it only makes sense for the character's sprite to go red if their health is equal to 0. That's what I've done there. So that should now work correctly, and we can test that. Obviously, we're not going to have this problem. Why is she jumping so high? We're obviously not going to have this problem because you see what's happened with the slime, because I've got the sprite thingy toggling red and white. It's kind of like we can test that again. So if we just take loads of damage from the slime, 20 hits in total. Oh, I know why it was doing that. Because of the timer. Yeah, no, that's fine. So because the contact with the slime is changing it back to white, that's why it's not working. But if the player's health is 0, so if I just take a few hits from the slime, and then if we go in the pit, boom, we're dead. So it does do the job. We need to, I feel like the players, what is the layer position on that one? 10. That's why the layer's 13. So we need to sort the layer order and layer for the sprite renderers. Okay, so We have the spike trap reducing the player's health to 0. And that is that simple. Static trap, guys. Run over there, hit the trap, boom, dead. It's that simple. I can tick that one off of my list. So static hazards, spikes, pits, job done. Okay, so I've got to have inside, very simple inside of limited assets. Got to have a start and an end screen as well. And when we've got the HUD, displays the score on the right. It displays the score on the right. Timer's in the middle. We need to sort the timer, and then we've got the health bar. So, it displays the player's score, health, and timer. And I just need to get that timer sorted. That's the annoying thing. I mean, it's because it's a custom event. I'll tell you what, let's just... That's a bug fix. Oh, sorry. Four. Sorry, dude. I've just seen. I'm sorry, dude. I've just seen your message. I had a spreadsheet up, so I couldn't see Streamlabs. I do apologise for not seeing your comment. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how long ago it's been added, but essentially Unity bought Bolt, and they've got their own visual scripting, similar to how the Unreal Engine has blueprints. In here, it's called like the script graph as a component. So, yeah, this is basically. I can show you my player. This is the kind of code. So it's similar to Unreal Engine's blueprints. It's pretty cool. It has some flaws, some things I don't like that I prefer in Unreal, but yeah, it's pretty good. So what I'm doing at the moment, I was just sorting out the timer. Just going to check that starts at the right time the moment the game starts. Yes, it does. Perfect. Yeah. Are you familiar with Unity? Are you experienced? What I want to do, I didn't want to have a countdown timer. Basically, this is a Unity project, university project. I'm studying video game design, so this trimester we're making a 2D platformer, and at the moment, the mechanics I've got in the game, I'm making 3 games this trimester, so I have really got my hands full. 2 games in Unity, 1 game in Unreal. So at the moment, I've got a checklist of what I have to include in my game, and I've got quite a lot. I've got the simple player controller. I've got the camera following the player. I've got my static hazards on the left, the pit, the spiky pit that you can see on the left there. I've got the collectibles, so I've got the coins that add to the score. I've got sound effects. I need to add some particle effects. I have the slime, which is my moving enemy, and I've got the health bar. So I've got a number of elements in there. And yeah, I was just trying to get the timer sorted because hold on a minute, I did just untick the auto size. There we go. If I get that to, what is the size of the score one? 50. If I do the same, there we go. Right, so I can get rid of that on start. So this is for the timer. Now in Unreal, when I did my game, I used Delta Time, and Unreal's scripting had it was literally timer seconds to string function, and it literally got the Delta Time and displayed it in minutes, seconds, milliseconds. I want that same display in Unity, but I don't know how simple that is to do. Do you know? Oh, hey, Angel. Sorry, I'm lagging a little bit, dude. I when I had dinner earlier, I started watching Castlevania on Netflix. Really, really good, but I think during episode 3 I just fell asleep. I must be exhausted. So if I am lagging a little bit, I do apologise, guys. Um, so so yeah, what I want to do, I want to get the time, which is correct here, and I want that to be displayed in that format. Ideally, I want to have 00. So, oh my god, what have I done? 1 second. Let me just go up here. That's how small the game is. This canvas is 1920 1080. It's crazy. I'm just going to stretch that out. I didn't want to have it auto size, guys, because if you noticed, when it was auto sizing, it was the text was actually moving. So that's why I've adjusted that. Oh, you know what? Just put it back on. It's basically the box isn't big enough. So you need to have a tiny bit at the end there. That stops it from glitching out. I remember what you just said, because I made 2 games in Unreal last trimester. The first game was literally the delta time from game start. So it basically just tracked how long you were taking to complete the game. But then I made a different game which had a countdown timer for chambers. I did like an Egyptian labyrinth game. And you go into a chamber that closes behind you, and then a 3-minute timer counts down. And I remember what you're saying. I remember I had it was kind of a little bit complicated. It was there were lots of things going in the script to get it to display that way. So yeah. Truncate the number with int. You got to bear in mind, I don't know C#. I'm not required to code. Like I'm a game designer, so we have to learn the visual scripting, the kind of drag and drop coding, if you like. When you say int with parentheses, do you mean parentheses? Sorry, I'm tired. Do you mean integer? Let's 1 second. okay. All right, let's play around with that, dude. Right, get the time. So, int, no, float to int, no. Oh, fuck. uh, hmm. Fuck. Oh my god, dude. Basically, Spades, the time I'm getting is a float, so it's a number with decimal points, and what I want is an integer. But if I had it in an integer, I would not get the milliseconds, would I? So, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I'm just trying to think of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Let me get up Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Right, their timer is literally minute, seconds. That is literally it. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm a genius. Think, Mike. Think. What you doing, mate? Right, you're on the graph. Graph for this one, local to this graph. Okay. Okay. Minutes. Seconds. Okay. I'm on it, guys. I haven't got any coffee. I need a coffee, but I'm on it. It's nearly 3 in the morning. It's 9 minutes to 3. I haven't got any work on tomorrow. Well, I do have to work on the group game, but other than that, yeah, I can have a bit of a late one. Right, get the time, and then. Okay, hold on. I've just gone blank. Oh my god. Right. The minutes and the seconds are integer. So essentially, okay, yeah, get time. If hold on. Set. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay. Equals. It's like you need to get it on tick. Jesus. What?